Hey guys, so I'm running on very low battery, so if this dies, I don't know what to do. And I also have this weird dent in my hair, which heavily influences the way my root looks. So it just looks like I've got a weird patch of black hair when it's actually just my roots sticking out through the dent. I'm glad we covered all the bases of what's annoying on this video. Subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment for engagement. Let's just get into today's story, which I haven't spoken about yet. And I've just seen it unfold and I just want to cover it before kind of things get crazy. This dent is just looking worse and worse every minute. That's fine. This is why you don't put those hairbands on to do your hair. No, to do your makeup. I can't speak today. I've had too many coffees, not enough food. So if Pokimane, who is a Twitch streamer now, I like to lay out my biases before we get into the video, so no one accuses me of being biased. I've actually had a few interactions with Pokimane, very positive ones actually. I remember she followed me when I was like a smaller YouTuber than I am now. This was a while ago. She followed me on Instagram and Twitter, and we've actually had some DM conversations. So I'm going into this semi-biased, but also I still, in this situation, like, it doesn't really change my opinion, because my opinion would have been the same even if Pokimane hadn't been nice to me. But I think because she's been super nice to me behind the scenes, I'm even more sympathetic. Like, I already had this opinion, but because Pokimane is so lovely behind the scenes to people, I just can't imagine doing this to her and being like okay with it, because she's always been nothing but nice to me. Of course, everyone can have different experiences with people, and it doesn't, you know, two people can meet the same person, have two completely different experiences. But I've had a very good experience with Pokimane on multiple occasions, and I just, in general, that's my bias for today. If you guys needed to know what my bias is, I'd want it to come out later on that, like, Angelika's supporting Pokimane because she's actually friends with her. Here's my bias. I've spoken to Pokimane before. She seems lovely. Doesn't change my opinion on the situation at all. I would have had this same opinion if it was like anyone else. But like I said, just in case anyone wants to accuse me of being biased, here it is. Pokimane is a Twitch streamer who is very successful. She's always on like the top 5 for female streamers, and she's always on like the top something for just overall streamers. She makes a lot of money. She makes a lot of, what are they called? She gets a lot of streams. She gets a lot of brand deals, a lot of everything. Like, she's a very successful female Twitch streamer. Now, with being a very successful female Twitch streamer comes the accusation that the only reason you are successful is because you are pretty, good looking, attractive, whatever it is, and the fact that you have simps following you, defending you. And whenever Pokimane gets called out for something, if she then has people defend her, they are called simps, and automatically their opinion is like not important. Like, oh, you can't defend Pokimane because you're a simp, and like your opinion doesn't matter. Even if it's just very valid, like, oh, we don't think that what she's being called out for is okay, we don't think it's like valid. Nope, simps, you like her because she's attractive woman, she's never gonna fuck you, all of this stuff that's just super sexist, super misogynist. But this all kind of, I feel like Pokimane being called out on this scale has actually started from Leafy. I don't think you guys remember this like little blip in time where Leafy is here, who had left the internet for ages. So he, oh my god, having to go back through history, my mind is just like working on overtime right now. There was a YouTuber that did commentary videos, very edgy commentary videos back in the day, called Leafy is Here. He then had a content cop made on him by iDubbbz, and back in the day, if you had a content cop made on you by iDubbbz, you were basically buried, like your career was just done. Game over, like, you might as well pack your bags and leave. So Leafy did just that. He packed his bags and he left. Because yeah, he just got called out by like one of the biggest commentary YouTubers at the time, who was iDubbbz, who also made some edgy content back in the day. So it was just edgy versus edgy, I guess. Content cop made, Leafy leaves. He then comes back to the internet and starts making commentary videos again. One of those being on Pokimane. Well, multiple of those being on Pokimane, but that was like the main one that started everything, where he basically called her out for having a boyfriend and not telling people about it, as if that's like anyone's business. But he was like, oh, the simps keep on following her because they think they have a chance with her, and she doesn't tell people, you know, that she has a boyfriend. Maybe just maybe she respects privacy and she just wants to keep something secret. Ever thought about that? I sure did. I don't know, I just thought it was a strange. Yeah, anyway, he called her out for multiple different things, whether you agree with some of them or not, besides the point. He made multiple videos about Pokimane, all in kind of like one go. He was then banned on YouTube for harassment, and yeah, that's how his YouTube career ended. Again, twice. So from then onwards, I feel like a lot of that side of the internet, Leafy and Keemstar and a lot of the edgier type YouTubers that talk about other people, have hated Pokimane, because they almost blame Pokimane on Leafy being banned, when in reality she didn't do anything. He made videos on her and then YouTube decided to ban him, but like she had no play in that other than being the topic of his videos. So I feel like since then she's just received a lot of hate from the edgier side of the internet, and whenever someone tries to defend her, they're called a simp. Now, I am a straight female who is not romantically interested in women. Why am I saying this? Because me defending Pokimane can't be a simpy thing, because I actually don't want to have sex with Pokimane. I know, shocking. So if I'm defending her now, there's no ulterior motive other than I saw something happen and I'm commenting on it, and I personally agree with Pokimane, disagree with the other side, so I'm defending Pokimane. Not because I have a romantic or sexual interest in her, but simply because I think that's the correct thing to do. So we can't use the simp excuse with me. Don't do that to me. I'm not the one. So now that we've got the backstory on Pokimane and why I think she's been heavily attacked on the internet for the last 3 or 4 years, we have a few other players in the story. One of them being JiDion, who is another Twitch streamer who's blown up recently over making troll content where he trolls other creators. He'll send harassment their way, yada yada yada. And he recently sent a lot of harassment Pokimane's way. So her whole chat was just filled with his fans just attacking her constantly, attacking her fan base, attacking anyone that was in the chat. Pokimane has actually spoken out on the extent of the harassment. She was like, it wasn't just like jokey, like when sometimes people raid other people's streams on Twitch, which if you don't know what that is, you finish a stream and then you raid. So you send your viewers to another streamer and they raid the chat, yada yada. Sometimes that can be a really nice thing. Like if you have a smaller streamer that you're really into and you're ending your stream, you can send your fans their way and bring up their viewership in a really fun way. And some of those people might stick around. Does that make sense? You're like helping someone grow. But then there's the toxic side of raids, which is like sending harassment someone's way, which they don't want. So at that point, it's like it doesn't really matter if their viewership goes up temporarily because it's all just hate. It's like, and streaming is based on live reactions. So you stream, your chat talks about the thing live and you can respond to that live. It's different to a YouTube video where I film it and I don't know what you guys are going to say until I post the video and then I can interact with you guys. Live streaming is very much like a collaborative effort where I speak, you respond, yada yada yada. So when your whole chat is filled with harassment and hate towards you, that ruins the whole vibe of the stream. Like you can't continue streaming at that point. So there are 2 different types of raids and I feel like people get that confused. This wasn't a good kind of raid. He raided her chat with just hatred. And Pokimane has actually spoken out on the fact that his fans came in and started using slurs, started using really edgy, language. It wasn't like it was just like regular harassment. It was crossing multiple different lines and breaking multiple guidelines on Twitch. So that happens. He gets a 14-day suspension. So for 14 days, he can't stream. He starts panicking and he reaches out to Ninja and he actually sends his audience to raid Ninja's stream, and they kept on being like, Ninja, help out, with getting him unbanned, getting him unsuspended for 14 days. Ninja then on stream does multiple different things that didn't make him look good. One being, he said that he's gonna get in touch with his manager straight away, text his manager and see what he can do about this whole thing. And he then proceeds to pick up his phone and be like, and then he goes, okay, well, I've just messaged my manager. When you say, I'm going to message my manager, see what I can do, and then you pick up your phone and you do a typing motion, and then you say, okay, I've messaged my manager, the usual consensus would be that you've messaged your manager to get someone unbanned. That's not defamation, that is just putting 2 and 2 together. I just want to break the scene for you guys, right? Like if someone says, I'm going to message my manager to try and get you unbanned, and then they proceed to pick up their phone and message and say, okay, well, I've just messaged my manager to get you unbanned, what would your conclusion of that be? Because mine would be, oh, he just messaged his manager to get someone unbanned. I don't think that's defamation. I think that's just pointing out a series of events that he has narrated himself. Anyway, so Ninja does that, and in that same stream refers to Pokimane and women as bitches, which is like, yes, women call other women bitches. I call my best friends bitches, but bitch is a derogatory term used against women because it is a way to describe a female dog. So when you call women bitches, you're calling them dogs. That was like the general thing behind the word bitch. When a man calls a woman a bitch, it is derogatory. When a woman calls a woman a bitch, it is not derogatory because we are using our derogatory term against us, if that makes sense. Like we're allowed to do that. So I always have a hard time with accepting men just throwing around the word bitch when referencing other women. Mainly with Ninja's past of saying things like he's never going to stream with other women. So he used to... Ninja used to be the biggest streamer in the world, right? So at the time, he would stream with a lot of smaller streamers and help them grow and, play Fortnite with them, etc. At the time, people started noticing that he would never stream with smaller women streamers. And he said that it's because he's got a wife and that he thinks it's inappropriate to stream with other women because he's got a wife. Now, I just want to say, if a guy only looks at other women as sexual/romantic beings, that isn't normal. Men should be able to see other women as just equals and friends. And if you can't do that, then in your eyes, the women are just sexual/romantic beings rather than just a human being. Like, if you think it's inappropriate to stream with another streamer just because they're a female, does that mean that whenever you see another female, or you hang out with another female, or you spend time with one, automatically you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna cheat on my wife? Because you see women as sexual/romantic beings rather than people that can just be friends/acquaintances. So people for a long time have noticed a slightly sexist vibe for Ninja, but that's besides the point. That's a whole separate story. Let me know what you guys think about that. I've got, like, you know, if that's their boundary in their relationship, fine. But then you add in him calling women bitches, and it just kind of gets a whole different aesthetic. You know, there's a whole different ambiance with that. So he calls women bitches on that same stream. He says something like, oh, bitches just do this, or like, you know, when just broad term. So Pokimane then reacts to that stream and says, I don't know why you would help him avoid his suspension for blatant harassment and then refer to all women as bitches. Ninja then DMs Pokimane and says, I swear on my dead grandparents' life that I didn't message my manager to help him out. And the fact that you're saying this is like defamation, essentially, just like threatening her. She then gets a DM from his wife, who's his manager, and his manager says that they will be pursuing legal action for defamation against Pokimane, and that basically she's just not allowed to talk about this anymore. Now hear me out. Like I said, let's put 2 and 2 together, right? JiDion gets a suspension for harassment, which is, there is a guideline on Twitch that says no harassment. He then proceeds to harass and then gets a consequence for said action. I think that's a valid, you know, series of events. He then raids Ninja's chat. Ninja says, I will help you out. I'll message my manager. Picks up his phone, messages his manager and says, I just messaged my manager. Pokimane reacts to that and says, why would you message your manager when he got banned for a good reason? And he's like, don't ever say that again. I never messaged my manager. You're defaming me. Things are not adding up to me. I'm sorry. What's going on? He narrated his own actions and then said that because Pokimane repeated his narration of his actions, she's defaming him. Anyway, since then, JiDion's suspension has been turned into a permanent ban, as in he has been permanently banned on Twitch. Now, do I think that's a little bit far? Maybe, possibly. JiDion is known for making troll-like content, so maybe Twitch has been keeping an eye on him for a while and this has just crossed the line. But I do think there should be some kind of a 3 strikes you're out thing. Considering this is his first official strike out, I think he deserves maybe 2 more. And then you can give him a permanent ban. I think giving him a permanent ban from the get-go will only make people's hatred towards Pokimane more. Yeah, I just think this is like a good look for Pokimane, not because she's done anything wrong, but because I think his fans are going to be like, oh, she's the reason why he got banned. Just like they behaved when Leafy got a permanent ban. They blamed Pokimane for Leafy's actions. Just like now they're going to blame Pokimane for JiDion's actions. So I think a permanent ban is more harmful to Pokimane than it is to him. Because he can just move to a different platform. He can start streaming on YouTube. So I think a 14-day suspension was a good call. I think permanent ban, not so much. I think if he does this a few more times and he gets 2 more suspensions, then they're allowed to ban him. But I think just first offense, he should just get like a little warning, a slap on the wrist, and then maybe if he repeats, he can get a permanent ban. But I think as a whole, this will just cause more hatred towards Pokimane, which I hate to see because I just think it's like a weird misogynistic vibe. Keemstar obviously got involved and he's just hating on Pokimane, but that's because him and Leafy have been friends for a while, and Keemstar, just like the rest of them, believes that Leafy got banned because of Pokimane rather than because of his own actions against Pokimane. So there's just like a whole lot of misogyny going on. There are a lot of tweets saying things like, oh, Pokimane's only successful because she's attractive, like why would he even care about her? Besides the point why she's famous. She's successful, she's famous. Besides the point, she deserves human decency. Even if the only reason why she's famous is because she's pretty. That still doesn't take away from the fact that she should be treated like a human being and not harassed. That's my opinion though. You let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. It's a bit of a different video for me. And subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment for engagement. Bye guys.